Hey guys, what's up? You know what? Much better. So I'm still working on a lot of those bigger videos that I'll be releasing shortly that are kind of more documentary style. But in the meantime, I have some other ideas for videos for you guys. And today, one of those is talking about Xbox versus PlayStation. And not in the next couple of years, but in the next 10 years. I want to talk with you guys exactly why I think Xbox is setting themselves up for long-term success, while PlayStation might look good now. I think they might run into some trouble down the line. Also, this is pissing me off. Hold up. Okay. Whew, now we're good. So before we jump into specifically why I think long-term Xbox is going to beat PlayStation, let's talk a little bit about both of the company's strategies right now and what they have done well in the past and present. That way we can carry that forward to the future and why Xbox is going to turn things around. So first up, I think we can all agree that PlayStation 4 essentially beat the Xbox One X. This last generation, Xbox had a very rocky start, announcing things like TV integration and a lot of features that gamers weren't interested in, while PlayStation focused on the things that gamers cared about, the games. And that is carried through over this entire past generation on forums, whether that be Reddit, on YouTube, or just on Twitch. A lot of people seem to have gravitated towards the PlayStation brand, as it has, at least in recent years, been more gamer friendly. Things have started to turn around recently though with Xbox. With Phil Spencer now at the head, they've kind of reined in what it is that the Xbox brand needs to become in order to compete with the PlayStation brand. And while Xbox still doesn't have the gaming prowess in terms of big hitters like Last of Us, Uncharted, and other big games like God of War that PlayStation is known for, the Xbox brand is slowly inching its way towards there with new studio acquisitions of the likes that can compete with Sony's. But that's not what we're here to talk about specifically, because while I think that PlayStation has beaten Xbox in the past, and in the present they are still continuing to do so with tons and tons of high quality games coming out, the things that gamers care most about, it is the things that Xbox is putting in place now that are going to lead to its success long term. And while it may be hard to see now, I think it is quite obvious that the path that Xbox and the Microsoft team behind the brand is taking is going to lead to more long-term and lasting gravitational success than the PlayStation brand is targeting right now. So what is it about Xbox's strategy right now that separates it from PlayStation? Well, I think that comes down to a couple key pillars that Xbox is focusing on that will long-term lead to its success. And those pillars are backwards compatibility, openness to other ecosystems, including Nintendo and PC, and a gamer-centric mindset that will, over time, show itself through the Xbox brand. So let's talk about this a little bit. The main thing I want to touch on here in this video and why I think Xbox is going to beat PlayStation long term is their ability to expand their games to other systems. So for those of you who don't know, all Xbox exclusives in the future are also going to be on PC. And this has been happening for a while now. I actually played Gears 5 on PC with everyone on stream. And before, that was a game I only could play on my Xbox for the original series. And it was awesome to see that the Xbox brand was willing to put all of their money and resources into having a PC version as well. But it's more than them just being nice, because it's this willingness to put games on other platforms and expand their reach that is going to kill Sony long term. Because while Sony is creating awesome, different games that gamers love and systems that can power these games well, the part they're missing is that as the gaming landscape grows and as the gaming scene matures, people are less and less inclined to really need one specific place to game. Gamers nowadays are on PC, on consoles, on phones, on VR. There are multiple different places to game, and you don't need to be in one specific subset to be successful. And in fact, I think you can become even more successful branching your games out. And for Xbox, that means putting their games on PC as well. And with recent rumors, even more interestingly, likely on the Nintendo Switch 2. There have been rumors recently that Xbox Game Pass is going to come to Nintendo Switch, and it's already on PC, and I could 100% see the Xbox brand doing this. Hell, Phil Spencer has been on record talking about how he wants to let Nintendo use the Xbox Game Pass. So why is this so important though? Why is it that Xbox giving their Game Pass, their own property and intellectual rights over to other companies, why does that help them succeed over PlayStation? It's because while PlayStation is making games that gamers love and care about, Xbox is creating an ecosystem where these games can be played and loved no matter where you are. Because you see, while PlayStation is focusing on making the next Last of Us, the next Uncharted, and God of War 2, Xbox is focused on creating the system by which you will buy every one of those games. Xbox Game Pass, where you only have to pay a small fee and all of the games on their catalog you will be able to play for free every month. And this is an important distinction because when Xbox does eventually get good single player IP and new IP out of their new studios, all of which they have recently acquired, then they're going to have the games just like Sony. But what Sony's not going to have is the ability to distribute those games across multiple systems, including PC, Xbox, and likely Nintendo systems like the Switch. So when Xbox does get those games, suddenly, just like that, everything is going to change. But even if they don't, even if Xbox's exclusives come to fruition and they are not nearly the level of quality of PlayStation, it doesn't matter. Because Xbox is competing on a completely different plane than PlayStation is. Xbox is focused on creating the technology, the backbone, and the infrastructure to support the future of games through Game Pass, backwards compatibility, and a more broad ecosystem where you can play crossplay across any platform with all of their games. And this forward thinkingness is what Sony is missing and why they will lose long term. Because as Sony releases more and more exclusives to their console, Xbox will continue to build more and more features, including xCloud, where you can play games across the internet and not even have to focus on buying actual hard copies or having a good system to run it. You see, in Sony's strategy, they're trying to create the best games possible to get everyone to buy their platform. That way, people have to get a PlayStation to play the new God of War or to play the new Uncharted. But for Xbox, they're creating the underlying technology that will run these systems. What happens when all of PlayStation's budget that they invested into games and they invested it all there and they don't have much left for their cloud infrastructure? What happens when xCloud from the Xbox brand is better than the cloud systems for PlayStation? What happens when PlayStation has to move to xCloud? Because that is the only service they can use that will be acceptable by gamers. What happens when PlayStation realizes that yes, we will allow Xbox Game Pass? And you know what? Xbox games are not exclusive. They're on every platform, PlayStation, Nintendo. What happens when we all realize that PlayStation has exclusives, but Xbox has everything? Because what people don't realize is Xbox and PlayStation aren't competition right now. PlayStation is realistically fighting a losing war. Xbox, a couple years ago, decided that they had lost to PlayStation. They knew they didn't have enough good, high-quality games coming through their pipeline to compete with the likes of God of War, to compete with the likes of The Last of Us 2. They knew they were dead on that front. But what Microsoft had was a bigger company backing, more resources, and more technological ability to build systems that would result in more long-term and lasting success. Xbox is building an entire conglomerate of technologies that will be used on multiple platforms, not just the Xbox console brand. And that is a much smarter and long-term way to see the gaming landscape than simply trying to create exclusives for a brand and a console that might eventually lose popularity. Because at some point, PlayStation might not be as popular as it is today, just as Xbox One X went through its pains recently. But what won't change is that if Xbox has in place xCloud, Xbox Game Pass, backwards compatibility across all platforms, those technologies will never lose popularity. And as long as they are impactful and better than the competition, Xbox will make more money and have a bigger stranglehold on the space than Sony ever could, just making good games. These two companies are no longer at war. The console wars of old are dead. And what we are left with is the remnants of the past. And, quite likely soon here, the realization of many that the way Xbox is going to result in them beating the PlayStation brand, even though it looked like it could never happen 5 years ago. Because while PlayStation is creating a platform, Xbox is creating an ecosystem. And while it may not be readily apparent now, soon and in the future for long term, I think it will become obvious that the ecosystem and strings that Xbox is putting in place now are going to give them success long term and eventually make them beat PlayStation. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, I'd love to have you stop by my Twitch stream so we could talk about it maybe more live and I could hear your guys' thoughts. But as always, I'll see you on the next one.